Another terror attack hits Brussels. A suspected suicide bomber was shot by Belgian soldiers after a small explosion went off in Brussels Central Station on Tuesday evening. Local media reported that the attacker was a man between 30 to 35 years old. He was wearing a backpack and an explosive belt. Reports say the suspect detonated a device when soldiers in the station took notice of him. One station employee claims the man shouted Allahu Akbar before detonating something on a luggage trolley. Soldiers then opened fire on the man. Authorities later confirmed he was killed. The blast came just a day after an attacker rammed an explosive-laden car into a police van in Paris, and on Monday another man mowed down Muslims in a separate incident near a London mosque. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Can we expect more attacks? Armed suspect dies after attack on police in France. Tourists watched in horror as an armed assailant rammed an explosive-laden car into a police van on France's iconic Champs-Élysées on Monday afternoon. A convoy of police vans was traveling along the Champs-Élysées around 3:40 p.m. when an assailant drove a car carrying gas cylinders, handguns, and a Kalashnikov assault rifle into the leading police van. French media reported that the assailant's car struck the van on its right flank and continued to push the van forward before skidding to a stop. The assailant's car caught fire and billowed orange smoke after the collision. The suspect reportedly exited the vehicle with a weapon, but died of his injuries before being able to inflict harm on anyone. The attacker has been identified as a 31-year-old Parisian, and not only was he reportedly known to police, but he was also on France's watch list. The attack is the second on French police this month, after a man used a hammer to attack officers who were patrolling the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris on June 6th. Another London attack. One man is dead and many more have been injured after a van deliberately plowed into pedestrians in London on Monday. This is the latest in a series of attacks to take place in the British capital. The incident occurred around midnight on June 19th as Muslim worshippers finished their evening prayers and were leaving a mosque in North London's Finsbury Park. People were gathered on the sidewalk when a white van suddenly swerved onto the pavement and crashed into the crowd. Witnesses reported seeing several people lying on the ground after the collision. The driver attempted to flee the scene, but was pinned down by bystanders until police arrived to arrest him. Authorities are currently investigating the crime, which is being widely described as a terror attack. Some witnesses say they saw two people leave the van with the suspect, currently identified only as a 48-year-old man. However, no accomplices have been identified or reported to police thus far. London hit by another terror attack. British Prime Minister Theresa May said it was time to say enough is enough after Islamist terrorists struck again at the heart of the country's capital. The attack reportedly began at 9:58 p.m. on Saturday, when three suspects in a speeding white van drove onto London Bridge. The van plowed into pedestrians at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour before mounting the sidewalk outside the Barrow Boy and Banker pub. At 10:07 p.m., ambulances arrived at the scene of the initial attack. 1 minute later, as police arrived at London Bridge, they began receiving reports of a second incident at nearby Borough Market. The suspects ran through the market, entering bars and restaurants and stabbing people with knives. 7 victims are confirmed to have died, and a further 48 were injured. At 10:16 p.m., police said the 3 suspects had been shot dead at Borough Market outside the Wheatsheaf pub. Police said the attackers were wearing fake suicide vests. It took the police 8 minutes from the time they received the first emergency call to confront and kill the attackers. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack, which is the third terrorist atrocity to hit the UK in just 3 months. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Dozens dead in coordinated terror attacks on airport and metro in Brussels. Nearly 24 people have died following a series of suicide bombing attacks at the airport and a metro station in the Belgian capital on Tuesday. The attacks began shortly before 8 a.m. Tuesday at Zaventem Airport in Brussels. Witnesses said at least one blast occurred near the check-in desk of American Airlines. Early media reports said the death toll at the airport was at least 11 people, with many more left injured. About 75 minutes later, a bomb rocked the Malbec metro station, killing at least 15 people. The terror attacks put the city on lockdown. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel warned the public against any unnecessary movement.